I spoke directly with a survivor who escaped an operation in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone. At the beginning, everything really looked good. The criminal group arranged on his transportation, threw a nice welcome dinner, but the moment he walked inside the actual office, things changed. He was locked up, his passport was taken, and he wasn't paid any money. I am Phetmany Khemmana, a Laos Field Coordinator at the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. And in this episode of Mekong Matters, we will explore cyber scam operations in Laos. Recently, a lot of attention has been paid to cyber scam operation in Cambodia and Myanmar, but these operations are also a big issue in Laos, and they are evolving and spreading across the country. When people talk about scam center in Laos, they often immediately think about the big compounds and operation in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone. However, the situation now has changed significantly in recent months. What we are seeing now is the dispersal of scam operation across the country as authorities have cracked down in neighboring countries, particularly Cambodia and Myanmar, and as law enforcement has also increased in the Golden Triangle area itself. Recent law enforcement actions show that scam centers are now no longer concentrated in one location. Authorities have identified and dismantled operations in multiple provinces, with a particularly high number of cases filed in central Laos and Lao Vientiane capital. At the same time, the core scam method have not changed so much. This group continue to target victims online, often using people of the scam nationality to scam their fellow nationals because they understand the language, culture, and social context. This center cannot function without a massive global workforce. Not recently, but before, many Indian workers and also from African countries, they has been deceived to work in Laos. If we look at the education background of the victims, they are the university graduate people. They are not intend to move to Laos. The middleman tell them that they are going to work in Thailand in some big company. They think that they move to Thailand for a better work. They don't know where they are. They just travel at night and have cross border unknowingly. The recent police operation in Laos have uncovered foreign nationals living and working completely illegally inside this operation without passport or identification. However, we are also seeing individuals who knowingly choose to work for this criminal group because of potential financial rewards. These workers often underestimate the risk. Once inside this operation, they may face exploitation, violence, restrictions on their freedom, or even human trafficking like conditions if they fail to meet a target or try to leave. Workers are under significant pressure to work long hours. We are seeing reports of people turning to drugs just to cope with the stress and stay awake. Information from police officer in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone also revealed that every time that they conduct a raid on an online scam operation, they are able to seize drugs almost every time in large quantity, likely for distribution. This massive scam operation cannot survive without local connections. So they hire locals to handle everyday logistics, driving workers around, renting out the house, hotels, translating or helping the syndicate connect with local services. But there is another trend. Local people are now being recruited to act as scammer themselves. As these criminal groups get more comfortable operating here, they are using local Lao workers to target and scam other Lao citizens online. Based on what we know, we can divide the operators into various groups. The first group run completely underground operations. These are mostly foreign criminal networks that want little attention. They stay outside the normal economy, renting out private house, hidden warehouse, or empty building in remote areas. They keep a low profile and they are highly mobile, and if they think the police are getting close, they can pack up their computer and move across the border overnight. For the second group, it's different. They hide in plain sight. They register as a legal businesses. They set up corporate funds and call themselves technology companies, digital marketing agencies, or online gaming platforms. They lease a huge office buildings, often in special economic zones. Then there is a whole group of other enablers and facilitators that provide security, protection, technological support, and so on. Another trend we are seeing is the growing use of cryptocurrencies to move and hide the process of crime. During my research, I had the opportunity to speak with people who had worked in a scam center. She told me that workers were paid in some kind of USDT, a type of cryptocurrency linked to the US dollars. They also use moon accounts to receive money because they don't want to use their own account. And when the money come in the account, they immediately withdraw it or transfer it to another bank account. A young woman working at the scam center who was responsible for sourcing these accounts explained that some people are tricked into opening bank accounts, while others willingly lend out their own bank account for scam operation. She also told me that even though moon accounts are illegal in Laos, they are still quite easy to get. Simply post on Facebook looking for an account, and then someone will come forward and willing to sell it to you. I heard from the police recently who said that they have seized and frozen a significant number of Lao bank account suspect of being linked to scam operations. The expansion of the special economic zone create opportunity that can be exploited by criminal actors. Some CZs operate with a relative high degree of administrative autonomy and have their own management structure. While this can help attract investment and speed up business activity, it can also create challenge for oversight and law enforcement if coordination between the zone authority and government agency is not strong enough. Finally, geography plays an important role. Laos sits at the center of the mainland Southeast Asia and share border with 5 countries. This strategic location make it easier for criminal networks to move people, money, and equipment across borders and adapt when enforcement pressure increase in neighboring countries. As authorities in countries such as Cambodia and Myanmar intensify crackdown on cyber scam compound, some criminal groups look for new locations where they believe they can continue operating. Since April this year, 2026, the police runs a massive nationwide crackdown to shut down more than 18 online scam centers and arrest more than 1,500 suspects from 14 different countries. The raid weren't just in the Golden Triangle, but took place throughout the country. Even with these wins, stopping them completely is still incredibly hard because everything is spread across different countries. Lao police cannot solve it alone. It requires constant teamwork and sharing information across borders. When we look at Laos, this cooperation has been growing for years. For example, back in 2020, Laos and China signed a major police agreement. Laos also has solid partnership with on its neighbor, like Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar. This agreement allowed them to share intelligence, track suspects across borders, run joint police operation, and send arrested criminals back to their home country for further prosecutions. At the same time, international partners are stepping in to help train local teams. For example, police officers and lawyers and frontline agencies like custom and immigration police. If authority can share data instantly and coordinate supply laid across different countries at the exact same time, it's become almost impossible for a scam group to simply pack up and move down somewhere else. While this is a move in the right directions, more need to be done to address the issues. Most prevention work, victim support, and awareness raising activity are still being led by civil society organizations, while government effort remain very limited. Cooperation cannot just be about law enforcement cooperation and making arrests. There is a need to also work with the private sector and civil society, who are often the first one to respond. I am Phetmany Khemmana, and thank you very much for listening. For more insight into organized crime across the Mekong, stay tuned for the monthly Mekong Matters podcast.